Let me guess, you're a creative person that seems to be changing hobbies every month? An I can do it myself type of someone who loves to learn how things work and is not afraid of trying themselves? Maybe you wanted to do a quick repair or craft at home and noticed that despite your enthusiasm and materials ready, you lack the tools. If so, I got you covered. Because in this video we're going to make a list of crafty must-haves that every creative tinkerer should have at home. As you may or may not know, I spent the last half a year creating introductory videos for various crafts, and while doing that, I noticed a pattern of certain tools being used over and over again, no matter the craft and level of difficulty. So I created a list of 10 things that every crafter should have, no matter the preferred hobbies and creative endeavors. But before we jump into that, hi, I'm Oak, a crafter, DIY lover, fashion history info dumper, and a person with too many ideas for stories that I will probably write at some point. If any of those things seem interesting to you, consider subscribing. This channel will soon evolve, and I'd love to step into this new era of my content creation journey, holding all of your folks' hands and forming a very wide row of creatives. Anyway, thank you for being here, and let's go back to the video. Let's start our list from the stuff that are the easiest to acquire and probably the cheapest. Scissors seems like a good start, so... Scissors. I really don't think you could do many crafts without them. Scissors are what bread is to sandwich and ink to books. It's a necessity, an integral part of anything you'd like to do. But you're not a mere mortal, you're a crafter, hence I'd like to suggest 3 different pairs of scissors. Normal ones, fabric ones, and heavy-duty ones. As a crafter with many years of experience behind my belt, I found that having those 3 types of scissors works the best. Though type may be a bad word here, since those are not any special scissors, just your typical ones with different functions assigned. Sewing ones need to be sharp, and preferably long, be able to cut through the fabric, so it's better to not use them for paper, cardboard or anything else. Those things should be cut by your standard scissors. Those that sit in your desk drawer or this tiny cluttered bin on your countertop. Last ones are heavy-duty scissors. Those can be your typical short school scissors bought in any color you like. Mine are made by the brand Bambino, which I find absolutely amusing, as those are my only scissors capable of cutting through metal. Kids these days are just built different, I guess. Having those 3 different pairs of scissors ensures you have every cutting power needed, which enables you to save on the other tools like rotary cutters and pincers. Next position on the list are glues, and again, there are 3 different types that let you cover all the bases. First is our typical stationary glue, but instead of using one in a stick, I'd suggest picking something a bit stronger that becomes transparent after drying. In my part of the world, Kamaben Magic is the best option for that. Sure, fluid glues can be a bit annoying to use in notebooks and such, but it will be perfect for various paper crafts and anything that typical stick glue would not be able to stick together. Next is your typical 100-in-1 strong glue used for crafts and repairs. Depending on where you're from, it will be Gorilla Glue, E6000 or one and only Uhu, which I love with all my heart and never let go. And the third one is hot glue. I know that in a way it's still a strong glue category and we already have something for that, but hear me out. Hot glue can be used for so many things. Yes, you can simply use it for gluing elements for your craft projects, but it can also be used as a lightweight bulk base for figurines, plug any holes and crevices in similar ways silicone would do, make small 3D shapes and decorative elements, and use it instead of acrylic in silicone molds. It's so good for many things. Plus, having a glue gun can prove to be useful by itself, in case you need its hot tip to fix some craft mistake or melt something. Another item that can be used for many things is masking tape. Do you need to glue something to the wall without spoiling it? Masking tape. Clean your clothes from fur? Masking tape. Have neat edges of painting or painted shapes on the wall? Masking tape. Temporarily glue something together or immobilize some element of your craft? You guessed it, masking tape. If you have those 7 items, you're already good to go. But to cover all the bases, you'd also need a hammer, saw and staple gun. I think the use of a hammer is self-explanatory. You can nail things to the wall, hammer elements closer together, just use something as a buffer to not damage the surface. use it as a paperweight or a measuring unit if you're lazy. And so can sound a bit out of the blue for some of us. Somehow owning a saw while living in a tiny flat in the city really sounds a bit bizarre. But hey, you don't need a woodworking shed to be able to cut some wood. Also, it doesn't have to be wood. Big pile of cardboard, foams and other materials can also be easily cut with saw, which could probably save you a lot of time and wrist pain, caused by holding scissors for a long time. Staple gun can be used in all areas where something stronger than glue is needed, but a hammer would not work. For example, I made my first decal out of wooden strip that I cut to size and formed a frame, connecting elements with a staple gun. It's also the ideal tool for upholstering furniture and various temporary repairs. And that's all! 10 tools you need to do most of the cheap DIYs and be able to start new crafts. Of course, for most of the creative hobbies out there, you will also need a trash stash and materials needed for said hobbies. But the tools we discussed today enable you to quickly jump from one creative endeavor to another without spending tens and hundreds on new specific equipment. Of course, if you'd like to add some more things to this crafter starter pack, you can. Double-sided tape would be a nice idea, and a scalpel-type craft knife is a good thing to have if your projects are tiny or simply require precision. Retractable knife is also handy for dealing with raw materials and opening orders from online craft stores. Having some spray paints in base colors, so white and black or whatever else you'd in base, will also prove to be a nice idea, especially if you like to refurbish stuff. Crochet hook is super versatile, helps with weaving things or catching fiber flyaways, can be also used for crafts different than crocheting, and overall is a super handy thing to have. So, that is all that I have for you today. Please give this video a thumbs up if you think it was useful, and don't forget to click the bell if you don't want to miss my glorious pivot. Since the spring event has ended, I'm going back to my usual schedule, which is posting every other week. That means we'll see each other again in July, so I wish you a lovely rest of June and bye bye!